Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sophia Events Centre for the Wargaming.net League EU Season 5 Finals. Now, you could be forgiven for thinking that I was introducing the Grand Final. I've got two of the very best World of Tanks players in Europe flanking me at the moment. It's GGWP and, of course, Virtus.Pro are going to be going head-to-head in a third-place match that is sure to bring some fireworks. Of course, I've got Ron and I've got Bishop here with me as well. Now, I want to talk to you, Ron. We're not going to harp about the last game. You guys are prepared for Virtus.Pro. You were expecting to play them at some point in this tournament. For those at home who wonder how other teams see them, what impresses you guys most about their team? What's the kind of thing that you guys are always thinking about when you're playing against them?
Well, Virtus.Pro is a very consistent team. They play with some... Based on skill, I would say. They use some conservative tactics, but play them very well. They are maybe not so creative, but sometimes they do create something. And they go into details of the tactic they use. That is their strong side, I would say. That is what makes them the fearsome team.
And tell me, Bishop, when you guys have gone up against GGWP during this season, said in the interviews and earlier that you guys respect these guys. You know that they're here to play and that they're serious about it. What is something about Virtus.Pro that you guys always have to be wary of?
You mean GGWP, right?
Yes.
They play very well. They very skilled players. They got very good balanced tactics. Sometimes they are very aggressive, sometimes they are very passive. So it's always very difficult to play against them.
Well, apologies for the slip there. Of course, GGWP and Virtus.Pro. Thank you, gentlemen. Shake hands. Game on, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the games you've been waiting to see. I sure have been waiting to see this one. It's going to be two of the very best teams in Europe fighting it out for that third place. It's not just bragging rights, of course. Very, very important for both of these teams. There's a lot on the line and not just a small rivalry. So let's see what both these teams have for us here on the main stage. I'm going to hand it over to our experts to start to crack this one open for us.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Actually, Kusok told us that they were only one step away from GGWP, and he was absolutely right. Unfortunately, no one predicted they would be in the position that they are in the third place playoff. No one expected that. But at least we get to see these teams play. That is absolutely a thing that everyone wanted to see. Everyone expected it. Everyone expected it to be the finals. Doesn't matter. We wanted to see this match. We wanted to see what these two teams would bring to the table. For Virtus.Pro, the result was about pride and money because they're actually going to be at the grand finals regardless. So this was more desperate for GGWP, wanted to prove themselves. So actually, I think this battle is really important regardless whether it's for third place or for first place for these two teams. Really about pride, and they expected this to be a big fight. What can you tell me about this?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And this is pretty much which team of these two has come up from the last loss more back to their mindset that, okay, next map we were going to win, because both were really, really shaky in the first game. So now it's time for the payday.
That's right, the payoff.
It seems they practiced too much, expecting to play against each other. They actually neglected the teams on the way. So it came and bite them back.
Do you think that actually is one of the primary reasons they were so prepared for the tactics that they expected to see from each other now, that they just had the wrong mindset for the teams they actually faced?
Well, they've beaten so many times, like teams like Kazna. Kazna is a really good team, but on online they've never beaten them. And School Bus surprised them last season, came from loser to winner, but still they seems to be people forgetting that. I don't see GGWP and VPRO getting ready for these matches. This is not what I expected from them. I expected much higher performance. Maybe they will come back now.
Okay, let's throw that in then. Let's throw that right now into the mix. Let's only talk about these two teams. Let's imagine this is the finals. They had no other stumbling blocks. These two teams are coming in with all their strengths. Forget what happened in the previous battle. This is that one that we're going to see as the first battle they played. What do we expect to see from these two teams?
Well, for sure, if they're prepared for each other, we should see really good games now, because they have been preparing to battle each other. So they probably have some counter tactics to each other's tactics, maybe something new up on their sleeves. So now there's no point holding anything up on their sleeve. Just bring everything you got on the table and see if it's enough or not.
Mojo, what do you think we're going to see from these teams?
Well, I'm a bit curious about the picks and bans, so I'm 100% sure they prepared some special stuff for their friends.
We'll go through the picks and bans very shortly. But first of all, before we do, let's get some sort of... Imagine, as I said, forget the last two battles. Let's just assume that was a hiccup that was not intended. Let's put our voting hats on. Let's think, okay, these two teams prepared only for this battle. Let's ignore the previous battle. What do you think the chances, what result we're going to see?
This will be a tight battle. I'm actually going to go with 5-4 to Virtus.Pro.
5-4 to Virtus.Pro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the 5-3 maximum Virtus.Pro.
Okay, that's interesting. We're being a bit more cautious here on the analytic desk because of the last two battles really throwing us off. But you guys at home have been a bit better than us, I think.
Absolutely, and they're not even close to being cautious because it's 88% for Virtus.Pro. So this match has already been kind of decided on paper. Let's see how the teams are doing. If you haven't voted yet, you still have time throughout the first map to get in your votes over at facebook.com/WGLEU. Simply vote for your favorite team by pressing on the logo and then entering your exact prediction of the scoreline in the text field below. And if you do so and are one of the first 10 people to guess the correct scoreline of this matchup, which we'll see, of course, at the end of this very match, you get a bonus code containing one of 5... No, not that. One... Jesus Christ. Gold and premium days. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry. Small hiccup there. And... share your thoughts on this match by using the hashtag WGLU.
We want to hear it, and we want you to win some gold and premium time. It's actually something everyone wants. You can never have too much gold and premium tanks, I think. Now, one thing we need to discuss, banning and picking. You said, Mojo, already that you actually had some interesting thoughts on this. So take us through what happened during the banning and picking.
Well, we could see that steps are removed immediately. I guess that has something to do with fails. Murovanka is the map that they don't feel comfortable. Virtus never did, neither did GGWP. They even flunked the match they lost against us was on Murovanka. Ruinberg gone, too unpredictable. Cliff, GGWP blocked it. They don't want to brawl directly with Virtus in those kinds of tanks. So there we go. Himmel left. That means Virtus, who didn't play well on Himmelsdorf, actually chose it to stay. And they chose defense. That tells to me they will try to defend and take some games from there and then switch to Prohorovka, which I think they want to actually master and have a second try and win. That is the map they're aiming for.
It's actually interesting on the Himmelsdorf that Virtus.Pro used to be the master of Himmelsdorf in the Season 4 and in the old format. But on this format, their win rate in Himmelsdorf is actually only 44%. So they haven't been the master of Himmelsdorf anymore. If I look at the picks and bans, it looks like GG Well Played was the winner of the ban phase because in both maps, they have the better statistics at the moment.
Absolutely. In the grand finals last year, Virtus.Pro should have won every time on Himmelsdorf. They destroyed Navi every single time. I was there in the audience saying, like, they've done it, they've won. And they just ran out of time every time. They let one tank get away. I think Left Shark escaped twice in a row and got away.
They left a better impression, but it didn't pay out.
Yeah, and I felt like at the end it was stolen from them. I really did feel that Virtus seemed like the stronger team. Obviously, Sand River is where they lost it. But other than that, like Himmelsdorf, you're right. I felt that Virtus.Pro were a very, very strong team. But you say that it's just not been their season. However, how have WP been playing on Himmelsdorf?
They have been really good at Himmelsdorf. They have been the first team to use a new tactics, new tanks on the Himmelsdorf. So they have been really good in it and implementing new tanks to the meta game.
Okay, so that's what it is. We have Virtus.Pro defending on Himmelsdorf. Statistically speaking, GGWP is the one to win, but you guys at home and us here think that Virtus.Pro still have that advantage, and I really feel that today's performance has really shone for Virtus.Pro, even though Kazna took them down. So, casters, what do you think about this setup?
Well, it's a great map to start on. I'm not gonna lie to you there, certainly excited for that, but for me, I've got to say, right, I feel it's all about Virtus.Pro's mentality in this one. Whether or not they've gone, if we ain't first, we don't care. And let's be honest, they're a team who are like that. They're a team who are highly dedicated and motivated for one thing, and that's to win. They didn't really manage that in their first game. Do you think they can be fully focused here? 'Cause I think if they're not, if they don't have that real kind of focus, GGWP Played have this?
They're playing for first place. Now they're playing for third place. Definitely there's going to be a mental strain there. And I don't think they're going to be playing 100%. But having said that, GGWP Played in exactly the same position. They were playing for first place as well. And if you hark your minds back to Season 3, we were in a similar situation. This time Virtus.Pro knocked GGWP Play down into the third place game. And they lost against Kazna Crew because they just didn't have the motivation to win. This might be a repeat performance of that.
So let's find out. First map coming up, it's Himmelsdorf as promised. And I'll ask you about those tank lineups momentarily, but for now, let's introduce the sides and the teams in this one. So in the south, in red, it will be GGWP Played on the defense. And in the north, in blue, will be Virtus.Pro. There we go, change around. I'm not going too mad. It'll be GGWP Played on the attack in the south, and in the north on defense. It will be Virtus.Pro. Now, what do you think GGWP Played can do with this? If, let's assume mentally, they pick up this first round, do you reckon that would just throw Virtus.Pro out of this game?
It would, because it's an attacking round on Himmelsdorf. It's the hardest map to attack on, despite the changes in 9.6. The last time these two faced up against each other, it was actually 2-all. Both won the defending sides, both lost the attacking sides. Obviously, Virtus.Pro took the whole match on Cliff by the smallest of margins.
It was tiny.
It was unbelievably close. It was about 2 seconds. Povel, the only one remaining, 2 tanks remaining for GGWP Played, and they just about lost it. So have to see if it's going to go down like that. I think it's going to be a very close game. Doesn't matter the scoreline. I think the games are going to be fantastically close. Now, GGWP Played get pushed back a little bit at the beginning of this map because Virtus.Pro, they want to get that 1-2 line. They don't want to give away that left side cap, that western cap. And that's delayed them a little bit. But I think they might want to mobilize, take down the 5100 and J1 or deal with that T37 and then kind of push up north. Now, we've seen that 5100 played by Povel in the E1 area, but other teams have played it. For instance, Cancer Crew did it yesterday, but it didn't work because it's received a lot of damage. But having said that, there's no artillery in play.
Yeah, interesting enough. It's kind of the old guard against the new guard here. Virtus.Pro, classically very good at Himmelsdorf. However, GGWP Played took a little bit of that title during the online phase and decided to really kind of find their own way in this. And considering they had head-to-head very even results throughout the times they've met, let's see if that comes into any sort of position. But still, what do we make of it so far? Where are we seeing this one coming down to? Because, as you said, the southern push coming out from Virtus.Pro very early on to take that 1-3 line all the way down to the bottom just gives them early dominance, and it's always good. But then is there surely not an overmatch that can be created somewhere for GGWP Played, or is that not their focus here?
I think it is their focus. We were just waiting for Griffin in that 5100 to get off the hill before GGWP Played makes their move. It looks like the 8-line push. We've seen a few A5 areas, but you can see Virtus.Pro is very cautious and very scared, I have to say, of the kind of CD area push we've seen the whole of yesterday play by the teams went on Himmelsdorf, and they want to kind of lock that one down. The T-37 does get caught, so both of these Tier 6 tanks have received 1 shell each, but run with that to MX-12T will be able to get the better of Creets if it comes a 1 versus 1 situation because of that autoloader. And it does look like GGWP Played will be doing that standard push along the CD area, but it's going to be about coordination, it's going to be about focus fire. Actually, they're going to go right. Interestingly enough, we've still got to see what those 5100 though on the right side's got to do.
Yeah, and only Merry got spotted then out of all of them pushing through towards that 6 line. So to what degree do Virtus.Pro in the numbers here know where these players are going to be? And there's still those 5100s split down that 1 line. Bearing in mind, there is quite the overmatch coming towards that northern side. Whether or not they're prepared is another matter, and we'll have to wait and see as everyone starts to get into position. You can see Virtus.Pro kind of putting themselves together in that northwest side. And where are you going to put your money on this?
Well, Virtus.Pro are definitely ready and waiting. All the 5100s around the corner, but GGWP Played doesn't care.
GGWP Play's going straight in. Merry takes 3 on the cross, make it 4. He's down to a 1-shot. 984 damage received, but Diablo gets a good spot there so he can peer through towards Bishop and try and hold him back. The cap being started. This could be quite the play. There's still a 5100 waiting across that D line, so they have people in position, but I'm not sure if they can weather the storm. Virtus.Pro are good at breaking this.
They definitely are. You can get the 5100 and the T-37 in the middle, which means you can get the resets. Ingenious position by Ron, but still the resets can come out. It just depends on the spotting and the information Virtus.Pro can get right now. Bishop can't receive too much damage, but you can see GGWP Players already thought of that. They got FC Dynamo just to hold that cross.
And it's great. He's pretty much body blocking this. One reset did come in. I'm not sure who from, but it's still down to 8 seconds. This is good, smart play. But finally, a couple of shells come in, but it doesn't matter. 3 seconds left. It's going to have to be a split-second shot from Virtus.Pro, and I don't think they can do it. GGWL played a stunning performance, picking up the cap completely under the nose of Virtus.Pro, and that will put them on tilt.
+1 point to FC Dynamo, 0 points to Virtus.Pro. The most fantastic body blocking I've ever seen in an IS3. Not only did he do it at the beginning, but he also reversed back just to keep Povl out of that game. And that's GGWL played knowing what Virtus.Pro is going to do. That's the anti-strats we had expected from these two teams, who have clearly really thought about how they want to beat them and beat each other. But it was just too obvious, you know? It was too obvious what Virtus.Pro wanted to do with the T-37 and the 5100. Phoenix took care of Karit, so then Povl can get the shots off through the middle. Virtus.Pro should have used that initial hit points advantage just to push around, take down Meritorious in that low HP IS3, and they would have had the game.
And you've got to say it, you can see these two focusing on each other. At least GGWL played focusing towards Virtus.Pro. I haven't seen the kind of reciprocation of that yet, but this was something I asked you at the start here, is that if GGWL played win the first on the attack, Virtus.Pro's mentality is going to be in the gutter. There's no two ways about it. They're going to be struggling to get that focus back, because losing out that early on, that's going to start hurting.
We saw yesterday Wusa in a similar situation. They came off a loss against Schoolbus in the upper bracket. They moved down to the lower bracket to fight Kazna crew. Kazna wasn't particularly the better game. It wasn't particularly the better team, but they had that break. They had that rest period to get themselves together. And that's where Wusa lost it on, and where Kazna, of course, won it. And I think it's the same situation here. But both teams have just lost their game. So I guess it kind of evens out a little bit. But Virtus.Pro, for them, it's more of a mental stress. You could see Ron in the pre-game interview saying that they don't necessarily want to win this. They want to prove that they're one of the best teams in Europe and indeed the world. And that doesn't necessarily mean getting first place. That's just a good top 3 spot. So I think as a new team, they shouldn't always be gunning for first place. They should just be, getting those results consistent.
And let's look at it this way. The way this is going, Virtus.Pro might not even win a map, bearing in mind. Imagine that, Virtus.Pro coming to an event.
#EPS.
Wow. Having the same track record as EPS. That's, no offense, EPS, but that's a bit awkward, isn't it, really, for Virtus.Pro? But still, it's something that could be a reality here. To be able to pick up one of the attacking rounds on Himmelsdorf of all maps, it's quite impressive from GGWL played, knowing their stuff. And it's one of those maps and one of those plays you probably couldn't do twice necessarily, but for an opening move, like an opening move in chess, it's something that's very hard to counter. And considering Himmelsdorf boasts the 67% win ratio on the defensive side here, one of the highest percentages we'll see throughout this, it's going to be a tough one now for, I feel, GGWL play to, one, double up on, but to be able to pick it up once, I think that might even be enough.
Yeah, I think one win on the attack is plenty these days. I want to see what GGWL played has in store for round 2, because 2 wins on the attack would be unheard of on Himmelsdorf.
Oh, yeah.
But Wilkie said it, Virtus.Pro aren't the best team on Himmelsdorf. It doesn't really suit their play style, because they kind of don't really get their timing down to a T, and that's what Himmelsdorf is all about. It's about timing, getting the execution together that you can actually push those heavy tanks into a great situation. But the 43% win ratio they have on it doesn't support them winning this matchup, and so far GGWL played is making that come true here.
Certainly are. Let's see if they can save some face here by taking down Virtus.Pro a peg or two. A team who are renowned on this map not too long ago. Back in the days, this was one of their homestays. These days, not so much. Been kicked out of their castle, and they're certainly feeling that right now. GGWL played moments away from round 2. You guys at home, once again, get using that hashtag WGLEU. Your thoughts, your predictions, how this feels doing a third-place game with GGWL played against Virtus.Pro. It's not what I expected to be doing. However, we are live into this, and once again, same sides do apply. It will still be GGWL played on the attack in the south in red, and in the north in blue, locking it down on defense. It's Virtus.Pro.
So Virtus.Pro has a T-32, which immediately makes me think the CD area is again their focus and where they're worried about GGWL played pushing. And I think if they lock that down, it's going to be great for them. But having said that, they're committing a lot of forces down south. Maybe they want to catch something out early on. But GGWP played have read it perfectly. They haven't got any tanks there. Instead, they got the ones on the hill. But the thing is, they found them on the cross. They might be able to do some damage if they have the positions.
Yeah, and I'm curious where those tanks end up who are on the 0 line. We've only seen one tank being committed to the hill just yet, but early damage coming in. And maybe Virtus.Pro could bring this map to its previous format of where the battle lines were drawn. They could find some comfort here, maybe. But focusing towards the west, certainly something that's not really gifted or wielded them results just yet, as Just Cause lets a couple of shells fly. But at the moment, tell me where they're trying to get towards. What's their end goal here? What's the next position in mind? Because surely Virtus.Pro aren't going to stay here the whole time.
No, GGWP played, wanted to get the 5100 on the hill to shoot the BA2 area. Yeah. But they didn't expect Virtus.Pro to be so aggressive at the beginning. Virtus.Pro wanted to shoot GGWP played whilst they crossed up the Banana Road, the 8 line. They managed to get one shell onto the side of Meritorious and one shell onto International, who's got his fuel tank here as well. So they've done pretty well. A little bit of early damage, but it's not a big deal. I mean, GGWP player can still win this one quite nicely. Virtus.Pro have rotated back, and I think GGWP player will be looking for that CD area push. They're getting the 5100s off the hill, which are also reloading. And once they do finish that reload, I think we'll be seeing a similar kind of situation we saw in the last round, and it might just work out because Virtus.Pro still have those two 5100s to the west.
And exactly, I thought it wouldn't work twice because, you know, once you've seen something and how it kind of unfolds, you'd assume that it wouldn't work again. But already finding a good shot towards Kusok there, doing a good chunk of damage, trying to even things up almost, and nearly have. But as you said, those 5100s are retracting up north again. That 5100, I believe it's Vorsic, will be heading up towards supporting the others, leaving only one towards the south. So a slight variation, but it would still kind of culminate in the same response. In theory, it's still going to have two tanks trying to come in from the south, the T-37 and the 5100. And if GGWP played from the same positions, they could do something here. But I'm curious to see if this will work out, because they're going for something that looks similar, but maybe not.
Well, what they've done is that they hit Kusok, which means Kusok is vulnerable, so he had to retract back. So it's given GGWP played that CD area they wanted. Now, they've still got Vorsic and Creets down south to get the reset, but it depends how quickly GGWP played does the damage. Not necessarily if they push within the next 10, 20 seconds, but how quickly they manage to take down Just Cause and Bishop. That determines the fate of this round. Ron might also find Vorsic from behind. Actually, I think that's Pavel down south. He likes to play that southern position often, so I'll be surprised if it wasn't him. But I think GGWP played has to be careful. If Pavel does find a rotate, does get behind, he'll be able to unleash a lot of damage into GGWP played, but I'm 100% sure that's what they're expecting.
Let's see. There's a game of mind games going on here between each other. They're certainly being aware. It's a 3-2 split. Griffin and Phoenix up the 6 line. We're going to have the main bulk of battle tanks cresting that corner. Look at that focus fire coming through, but not a substantial amount of damage done. Kusok is the weak link, though. That's a tank they may just delete off this map any second now. Mondiablo does get it, and that 5100 in the south is not in position just yet. They might be able to negate its presence if they can commit, but the T-37 has got their Phoenix, is now in trouble this time. Maybe not in the prime position, Just Cause picks it up, and Griffin now 1v2 has cover from the back, but it's from the front. He's taking the damage and can't get the shell off. He goes down, and the 4 tanks have to commit here.
If Phoenix actually managed to get that last shell off, it would have been a completely different game, in my opinion, because that would have been a 2-for-1 exchange, and that would have been okay for GGWP play, but now they are down quite severely, and Virtus.Pro on the rotate, but Breakneck gets a little bit of damage towards him, and that's given GGWP played away into this.
It has, that's the thing. Any sort of evening, any sort of creative moves like that can work out, and they've almost switched position here. Ron, though, spots out Vorsic, keeping eyes on. Nice work. It's got to be careful. It's all about how well they maintain the, the consistent amount of damage they can inflict towards Virtus.Pro. Virtus.Pro are waiting now. Look at this play from Ron, it's beautiful. Even very small, but he's doing so well.
He's small but deadly.
He's almost hit 1k damage in that.
Well, that's the thing. It's an autoloader. It's such a quick reload. He can just do so much
He's
brutal damage to those 5100s.
5100s in place there. That's brilliant.
Unbelievable. And Vorsic is a 2-shot for him, so Vorsic can't do anything behind that railroad. That's why Pavel has to support him, who's just going on reload now. So GGWP played are running out of time. That's their biggest problem. But they do actually have a good HP advantage.
Ron's playing out of his mind right now. 12 to 14 single-handedly. He's doing some real damage. Vorsic there, shells will bounce, but look who's coming into the fold here. FC Dynamo making his way across. They're going to focus on out. Finally, Vorsic will fall to him, and Ron is playing beautifully. And it's turned it. Look at the HP difference. GGWP played at almost double. Breakneck is a one-shot. This is unreal. 1 minute left, though. They've got to find all these tanks and take them down because GGWP played are on the attack.
So, this is the situation. SC Dynamo is going to take out Bishop. He's going to be able to take down Breakneck. But it depends what Pavel can do to the right, as he's a two-shot, and how fast away he does retract. But SC Dynamo, the man of the match.
Certainly is so far. Bishop goes down. Breakneck, the next, lined up. Ooh, not Silent Seal deliver this time, but Ron fancies his chances, not going to get it. And Breakneck soaking up this damage. Looking for another. Breakneck not going down easy. Every second he buys lets that T-37, that 5100 get further away, but Mon Diablo has none of it. And they're going to start the cap up, but look at the time limit. It's not quite in tow, and they might need to consider that, as already I think FC Dynamo is heading back up north. But will there be enough time for this one? 40 seconds now. Speed up should happen anytime soon, but International might be dealt. Pavel, the time isn't working out. This could be a disaster for GGWP played. International won't be able to make it there in time. This could be all over.
Ooh, International does find Pavel. I'm not sure if
I don't think he can
they
get
have
there.
time. I don't think they have time to get back, but Just Cause and Krates are on the hill. They are safe if they manage to get this clock down.
1 for 1 is going to be the scoreline. Virtus.Pro hold them off with 500 HP remaining. A stunning game from GGWP played. A smart man's game from GGWP played. But sadly, the time was 2 seconds out.
It was finally Breakneck to actually step up for his team. I mean, he basically bought them about 10 to 20 seconds, which is what GGWP played needed to cap. GGWP played knew that they couldn't actually kill all the tanks from Virtus.Pro because Kreitz is in that T-37. He's just significantly faster than any of the tanks on the side. And then, of course, Ron went in, got himself killed by Breakneck. I think if Ron managed to get across without being killed, it would have been a different game. But yeah, I mean, again, though, GGWP play looked on form. They looked like the better team. I mean, they just ran out of time.
Bearing in mind, the win percent of defending teams on this map is so substantial. To see someone getting that close twice on the attacking side is a very impressive thing. And you can see where these teams were focusing at the start of this event, clearly upon each other. They didn't consider the others, School Bus, Casners, people like that. They thought they'll get dealt with somewhere along the lines. We'll focus on our main targets, the harder opponents. And you've seen this brilliant game of tanks, but Virtus.Pro finally get themselves back into this. I don't know what to make of this, though. Going into attacking, excuse me, can Virtus.Pro replicate what's just been done to them?
I think Virtus.Pro can. I really hope that they've trained Himmelsdorf a lot. They've clearly seen that Himmelsdorf is one of their weaker maps, so they need to get it sorted. And I think Himmelsdorf is one of those maps where, as any kind of team, you need to be good at, because a lot of teams have been playing it. We saw it a lot in the online stage, especially in the second half that season. I think Virtus.Pro can replicate. I think GGWP played is a good mixture of attacking and defense, but so far they've been the better attacker, and that might suggest that they're worse at defending, or it might not. We'll have to see in this next couple of rounds.
And I'd love to know the thoughts now, the analysis desk, how well these two are performing, how they're shaping off head-to-head, because do you guys agree that maybe GGWP played had focused on Virtus.Pro here? Because it looks like it to me.
It really does. The first game was obviously dropped, and the second game was only saved at the last second by Breakneck holding back 4 tanks for long enough for them to be able to delay the cap by, 2 seconds before they would have lost it? So almost losing 2 defenses on Himmelsdorf. A bit of a disaster. I think, Silmojo, you've got a lot to say about that first and second game. In fact, I think we want to go straight to the map and draw, because you want to go straight into it.
Yes,
go ahead.
Both teams had pretty good idea what to do. Virtus started pretty nice. They sent the spotter going like this and here. Now, that position on that ridge actually gives this kind of spotting all the way through all this here. So any tank, heavy tank that passes this area here is actually seen, and they have a vision what's going on. Other tanks then positioned really fast down to intercept any kind of possible cap at 12T. 12T is actually smallest light tank in tier 6, biggest camo value. So it's best to be used here, behind this building, as we spoke before, if you remember. Now, after GGWP, they played really, really slow. So they knew that Virtus is waiting. They waited for them to stretch out. And actually, I think their original plan was what they did. They rotated all the tanks back went up, went full speed here, took significant damage. Mary almost died. He was on one shot. But they used this little house here, the doorway, to put a 12-ton inside, a little hero. Now he cannot be resetted there unless someone actually comes. They knew the only way for Virtus to win is Virtus had to come from here and to reset, as we spoke before, from here shooting the tanks up. They prevented everything. They had tanks already here, aimed to shoot down. They had tanks in this area here, ready to shoot both up and down. We saw the body blocks, we saw full deal. They did it really good, Cap was excellent, and most importantly, that was a new tactic not seen before.
Right, so that is what happened in the first two battles. The second one was recovered at the very last second, and well, by Breaknet, just ever so few seconds. But the second game, or second side, where Virtus.Pro, instead of defending, is attacking, GGWP will be on the defensive. We're going to see what happens now. So that's what we thought. What's going to happen next, Lauren and Oliver?
It does seem to be all up in the air here, and I find it very hard to judge these two teams at the moment because GGWP played. It's just a weird performance from both of them, knowing where they're at, not knowing where they're at. I think the big question now for me is, does Virtus.Pro have what it takes to step up and show that they can do exactly what GGWP did? And I think that was what was really discussed and kind of brought through there. And what are your thoughts on it? Do you think they actually can kind of replicate it?
Exactly. They need to replicate a similar performance as GGWP did on the attack. And I think that's going to be very, very hard because that was not only an unseen strategy, as Mojo just said, but also a very, 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 very good strategy. And I think Virtus.Pro is going to struggle for sure. But they're a team that thought about this, that had plenty of time to train. They did that boot camp in Moscow. And I hope that's given them the edge to actually come up with something as inventive and as ingenious and as well executed as what GGWP just saw, what we just saw from GGWP in that first round.
And I'll ask you the question, maybe after this round, would you ever have chalked up Virtus.Pro to be creative, though? That's the one thing I always question with them. They're always a team of smart, talented players, but creative, maybe not. However, let's get into the game. GGWP are on the defense, Virtus.Pro are on the attack. And how's this one shaping up so far?
Well, Virtus.Pro, they're just kind of heading over towards the right side a little bit. They don't want to waste any time. The 5100 will make the shots over to A2, A3. And GGWP are doing exactly what Virtus did at the start. No T32 to go, no T32 hold down in C3. They have got one up in A4 area. So they want to get the side shots on. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't go more aggressive with that T37 along the 3 line just to spot out. But they have got run there just to make sure anything's happened. But no spots going on to Virtus.Pro yet, who have gone very quickly into the middle. Kusok playing his favorite tank, the T32. And then certainly not wasting any time. And to be honest, Ron's dead.
Yeah, Ron is indeed dead. And whether or not it's worth it, we'll have to wait and see. The information gathered and what they can do with it, I'm not sure myself. And this is going to be a very disjointed battle here. 2 5100s, sorry, excuse me, 3 5100s out of the 5 for Virtus.Pro. Whereas the rest for GGWP seem to be trying to drag themselves back towards the north.
Creed's making a shot onto Montiablo, and Griffin being an E1, and Crete and Pavel being so dominant down south is going to basically stop Griffin from rotating. Virtus.Pro are quite happy to sit back. They just spotted the 5100 heading up north, so they know exactly what GGWP are doing. They just have to get the positions now a little bit. They're doing some good damage on the retreating tanks of GGWP, but they haven't really got a single area of attack which we can say they're definitely going to go for. They got tanks spread around the middle, 5100 on the hill, which is definitely what we're waiting for, and once he comes off that hill, we actually get a good idea of where Virtus.Pro want to go. But Vorsic and Cretes are going to get the overmatch against the 5100 Griffin, which is absolutely on point because we don't see a T32 and an IS3 in B2 or B or C2. We've only got that 5100. So if Cretes and Pavel, Vorsic and Cretes do go for Griffin, they are going to be able to take him down quite easily. And if he does run away, the 2 IS3s in the middle will get the side shots on him.
Variables in play that could pay in favour to Virtus.Pro. 1-1 so far. This is for 3rd place here. Not something I expected to say between Virtus.Pro and GGWP. But that seems to be the case. And Griffin, I think, knowing what's up now, this could be an issue.
I want to see what Virtus.Pro do about Griffin. The 5100's moving towards him. But they seem to be a little bit slow now. Virtus have run out of time plenty of times on the attack on Himmelsdorf. Let's hope they don't make the same mistake for the millionth time. But you can see the 5100 heading up north. GGWL play a hold in their ground. They got one in A1 because it needs to be able to shoot the T37 if it does push, or the 5100, which is actually rotating to the middle. And Virtus have the hit point advantage by about 500, which is going to give them the advantage when they push around of the first shell. And you can see the CD area is where they want to push. They're going to struggle because they got International to deal with, who's hull down in that T32 with good support from behind. But one thing Virtus.Pro has going for them is that 5100 up in A1 and in E1.
Virtus.Pro certainly heading up towards the north now. Just Cause, Bishop, Povell, all there, and very different approach from both sides. And I'm curious that there's no one in that A4 area, sorry, A4-5, where we're going to kind of account it towards, and something we don't often see. However, GGWL played seeming cool, calm and collected, not overreaching here, which is quite nice to see that they're holding the ground as best they can, but it looks like it might be go time very soon.
It definitely is. Povell, Just Cause and Bishop heading up north. The first push is going to be from them because they're GGWL played, are expecting it from the other side, and this is a great piece of execution from Virtus.
Lovely. And there's no one to watch on towards the east, so the 3 tanks heading round on that side will be able to pincer these guys in, and that's why I was surprised to not see someone in the A4 area normally holding them up, normally slowing these guys down. However, look at them. The fight comes in. Griffin gets some cross shots, but the damage being done towards GGWL played is almost irrevocable. They can't recover from this, surely. As the International goes low, Vorsic finds him out in the open, delivers well. And now Kusok trying to take down Mary.
Kusok 1 versus 1 against Meritorious, but it's 3 versus 4. Kusok does go very low, so he might be able to kind of get this one up. Bishop fluffing the shell.
Yeah, Bishop surprisingly fluffing that one. He's been a key player thus far, but struggling here. And, well, at the moment, Mary's still trying to stay alive, but he will be taken down by Bishop in the end, and now 2 tanks remain.
Phoenix and Griffin with a little bit of pressure on them now. I think they might just be able to do some work, but they are very disjointed. As I said, Griffin is out of the battle for a long time. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Does Griffin run, or does he hold his ground?
I think he gets in a position to try and stop the cap. That's what I want to see, is if he can find somewhere. 1 minute and 20 to play, safe enough to not die, but also stop the cap when that time does become the issue. Phoenix got off reload, has full shells available now. Both in a position to do something. Whether or not I win him a game is very different. Griffin towards the south, going to adjust back. Will he head across the center of the map? Have to challenge through that T32? Or does he find another angle? Because look at it. Virtus.Pro is setting up with that in mind. They're not allowing anything near it. Kusok is low though. Where's the best option here of attack?
It's where Kusok's driving up. Driver and commander down. And with 13 seconds left, I mean, of course, the eastern area would be a little bit easier to stop this one, but 7 seconds, there's no time to go there.
No, they're going to have to make it count right about now, and there's no easy shot here. That's the thing I was worried about. There is no lineup, and Phoenix needs to land one of these. He doesn't. He goes down, and Virtus.Pro replicate exactly what we said they had to do. They step up and deliver.
The shot caller for GGWL played. I mean, he fluffed that shot, and that's the difference between a win and a loss. He needed to hit that, didn't manage to do it, and GGWL played to lose that defensive side. So a pretty good Virtus.Pro, nothing ingenious though, and I'm kind of surprised GGWL played let that round slip away from them.
Because it was almost exactly replicated, 1-to-1. It's unreal. You'd have thought they may have known better almost, or thought it through. I don't know if it's GGWL Play taking Virtus.Pro style, or Virtus.Pro taking GGWL Plates here. Both of them doing almost exactly the same thing to a degree, and then adjusting at the last second. 2 tanks had the option to try and get a reset. Neither of them had it in the end. There was no shot to be made from the south by Griffin, really. There was, they positioned out of it, but then who was the other guy who had the shot?
Phoenix.
Phoenix had the opportunity, but kind of fluffed it there.
I said it. I mean, Griffin wasn't only out of position to actually get the reset, he was out of position full stop. The guy just wasn't in the right place. I mean, great place to stop that western cap and to provide support up that 1-2-3 line, but to do damage, it wasn't good, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
When Virtus.Pro won it because they did that good push, GGWL played, guessed that Virtus would push around the CD area first, but they didn't. Actually, Virtus pushed around the other side, guessing perfectly, because that 5100 was out of this, that they don't even care anymore about that. They don't really care about if they win or lose. They just want to play it to prove to themselves that they can. But still, we've still got one more round on Himmelsdorf ahead of us. Again, GGWL Play will be on the defensive side, and as I said before, they have no real other option to actually do anything else apart from win now. Mistakes from GGWL Play include Griffin being out of position. I think they might change that one up a bit. They might go for a TCM-style push down the 1-2 line, just catch Virtus very early on, maybe do what Virtus did, find the 8-line cross, and make shells onto the side, give them a little bit of a hit points advantage, or just simply chill out, play in that 1-3 line, and then get the rotate with a T37, get Ron in that T37 or AMX-12T around to get the reset if Virtus go for the west side.
Yeah, and we are just waiting for the teams right now, just so you guys at home know that you're aware. Teams just doing whatever they need to do, talk it through, discuss that final round. There's a lot of options. That's why the cameras are on us. We are just waiting for them to get ready and sort themselves out. And hopefully all will be good very, very soon and they'll be prepared to go forward, because it's been quite a slow, methodical Himmelsdorf compared to some of the other matches we've had that have been a little bit more fast-paced, a little bit quicker to try and ride the momentum going forward. And this one seems they like to slow down the pace maybe, and it could offset GGWL Played a little. Virtus.Pro normally quite quick on it. So that could be another reason as to why. You never know, though. But still, your opinion so far?
Well, slow and methodical is what we'd expect on Himmelsdorf. I mean, all right, mate. Cheers. Someone just came behind us, by the way. It's the manner. But anyway, yeah, slow and methodical is what I would describe this one as. But I think that's expected. It's how Himmelsdorf is played. Not my most favorite map in the world.
Yeah.
Because of that, I like to see the brawls. But it's good to see because it's clearly displaying to us who's better. Finally we have the answer. Who's better, GGWL Played or Virtus.Pro? And it's a lot to work on for both teams. But Virtus.Pro can take something away from this if they win this. They can take away that at least they beat the team that they wanted to beat, and the vice versa goes for GGWL Played. They could prove to themselves that they actually did beat the team that they trained this whole online stage and between the online and the finals.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? The first and second fighting it out now, and you will finally get that answer one way or another, as we do just wait for them to prepare. They are now ready, they are set, everything is in position, and the mirror matchup once again goes down. So here we go. GGWL Played on the defense, Virtus.Pro on the attack, and that game of chess begins again between these two teams of how do they start, how do they respond, and how do they read into each other, because they seem so well aware of every move each other's making.
They're just so well prepared at the end of the day. They're really, really, really well prepared. It's quite funny because, Virtus.Pro doesn't have a lot of rounds on this map, so GGWL didn't have enough material, so it's pretty fantastic. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Something different from GGWL Played. Sending the 5100 up the hill. This is kind of like 742 Himmelsdorf with the AMX, with the T37. Now, Pavel is going to get horribly caught out because he's going to make the shots onto the A23 which is the standard tactic on this map. Oh, but Ron peeks and that's game over. Pavel will have to run.
Oh, Ron, you've got to be kicking yourself for that one.
That was a massive mistake.
Yeah. Ron saved the day in one game and then kind of did this in another. Maybe not losing it just yet, but there's always that kind of middle ground where you're going to regret it. And how will now Virtus.Pro respond? They've got a lot of information from that. Where do they then try and kind of stress the point towards, because Brainiacs just got caught out?
Well, they know the T37's on the hill, which is so unusual that clearly Pavel and the whole of Virtus.Pro is thinking, okay, so they'll have something in support because the 5100 can just come off, and Ron does get some damage towards him, but he's got the 5100s in support, which might catch Pavel by surprise.
I kind of missed seeing the action on this hill in a way. It never comes down to it anymore, so it's kind of nice to see. I missed that little nice mound of dirt that's just on the top of it. It's never since I thought I'd say, but it is true. Pavel there shows how it's done. Kreitz taking the position of a tier 1 almost from yesteryear and putting himself up on the hill. So something that we haven't seen for many seasons, but these two teams certainly probably aware of it from some time ago. Ron and Kreitz probably used to this and probably having flashbacks of the very, very old seasons. However, at the moment, it looks like Virtus.Pro have won that hill presence. But then where does that now leave GGWL Play? Do they have to adapt and fall back to another game plan and find a new way? Because Ron could be caught out here as well if Kreitz overstayed, but Kreitz holds his nerve.
The thing is, GGWL Played stuck in a pretty awkward position. They've got two tanks not in optimal defensive positions. They can peek and do some damage against Virtus.Pro, but Virtus.Pro knows that 150-100 cross, so a second one will, and that's the problem. They went all in, and it definitely didn't work out for them.
Oh, and I love watching this run against Karit, something you don't always see. Karit obviously having the upper hand. Ron is about half HP even before that exchange started. And now Popple going to be joining him. And you can see the kind of pincer maneuver coming out again. And Popple will be on his own, but there will be support from the T32. IS3 up the banana line, joined now by the 5100. And look at the fold coming out from Virtus.Pro. The timing is stunning. Karit does take down Ron. And now where will the pain be put towards next? Who's folding onto who? Who's got the upper hand, the crossfire, the angles? Who has it better off? This is something we don't see very often.
Well, Griffin and Pavel having a little bit of a 1 versus 1 exchange, but GGWP are stuck between a rock and a hard place, and they got Virtus.Pro barreling down.
But Mary, FC Dynamo and International have an angle there. Phoenix comes around at a good time, bails him out a little, but Pavel moves forward, finds the kill. That's Griffin down, and now Diablo highly vulnerable here. I don't think he's going to have a shell to make, maybe one, but Pavel on reload comes around. Not going to be able to make much of this. Diablo playing a stunner here, staying alive. Just Cause finds Mary. Diablo fights and Phoenix comes in, and this could be a bit of an awkward outcome. Maybe Virtus.Pro don't have such an upper hand here.
Big mistakes by Pavel, big individual mistakes, and that's allowed GGWP a little bit of breathing room here, but not a lot, as Virtus.Pro still have that one tank advantage now. Virtus.Pro need to kind of split off. Resource allocation is the name of the game now. Push up north, take down Phoenix, who's on reload in that 5100, but International, fantastic frag on Just Cause.
And Phoenix knows he's vulnerable. He's trying to move out of this. He's trying to find a way to avoid everything else. They know where the IS3s are, but it's that 5100 that could be an issue. FC Dynamo's alive, the T32 sticking in this one. And now we wait and see. Will Phoenix have reload available anytime now? International does get tracked, gets one shell in from Breakneck, but Phoenix will be off reload any second now. Back in the game, but Vorsic has found him. First shot comes through. 1v1. Vorsic has the shell, as does Phoenix, but Phoenix backs out. Doesn't want to risk it. 3v3. This is close.
Well, Phoenix has got the cross. He's predicting perfectly where Virtus.Pro wants to come from, but SC Dynamo is coming from the left, so which way will Breakneck aim his turret? But as soon as one of these two makes a shot, Vorsic will have a room to come in.
International needs to stay alive to make this happen. He's taking so much damage here, and FC Dynamo appears, but caution is aplenty. 2 minutes left, but he needs to make this count. Now International's down. It's free roaming here. Dynamo does not hit the shot either, which is a huge error, and Vorsic might just find Phoenix. The 1v1 may finally have its answer. Breakneck finds FC Dynamo, and now Phoenix 1v3. Can he go beyond the Call of Duty here? No, denied by Vorsic. It's a 3-1 for Virtus.Pro. Finally finding their comfort.
Very struggled game for Virtus.Pro. I think it should have been a little bit clear cut for them, but GGWP's individual skill coming into its own, and it made it very hard for Virtus.Pro to clean up that game. Pretty much from that move on the 5100s on the hill, Virtus.Pro did it perfectly. They had the 8 line, they had the cross, they made sure that GGWP couldn't reset back to the standard defensive positions. And I honestly think it was won and lost when Ron peeked over that hill. If he didn't peek, and if he had those 5100s with him, they could have all crested at the same time, and Pavel would have been worm's meat.
Yeah, it's kind of curious, isn't it? The smallest thing sometimes by not necessarily the combat tank either, can cause such a ripple and a knock-on effect throughout the entire game. So, well, so far it's a 3-1, I guess, in favour of Virtus.Pro. And as you said, the scoreline may not be completely reflective of how close the actual game inside it has been going down, because these rounds have not been clear-cut for Virtus.Pro.
No, they haven't. 2 fantastic attacking rounds, and
Yep.
I'm so surprised that they managed to do it, because they haven't been good on Himmelsdorf, and 2 wins on attack is simply unheard of on this map. The preparation's working, and GGWP trying something a little bit unusual definitely didn't work out for them, but Prokhorovka is a completely different ball game, and GGWP has a good chance.
Well, that's something to look forward to, but to keep you guys interested, let's over to the analysis desk and see what they make of that first map.
Well, that's exactly what I wanted to see from Virtus.Pro. I said in the grand finals that their only mistake was that they always waited to the last second to attack. They always waited. They always won. They absolutely always won, but they always let one tank get away. They fixed that mistake. Double win. Absolutely fantastic play.
Yeah, in the third round, they did a really brilliant job. They pulled the GGWP plays 5100 to this location. They covered their T37 to come here as a spotter. They had one 100 covering him up so that he went there, locked down this, let's switch the card to red, this GGWP plays 5100 here. He couldn't do anything because 37 was blocking him all the time. GGWP needed to pull one of their 5100s here in the A1 to cover this 5100 so that Virtus.Pro doesn't come from the one line to kill this 5100. At the same time, Virtus.Pro pulled this 1500 and all the rest of their tanks to here, and they did the split push from here and here to the tanks of GG played on this area. So pretty brilliant stuff, because you lock 2 tanks out of the battle with 1 tier 6 light tank. You have really huge overmatch on this cap area in the north after that. Would you had something to fill up?
Yeah, I want to point out, I usually don't blame people for things, but this is a pretty big mistake. They put Ron here, as Virtus did. Okay, that's fine spotting position, but it requires also a person here who will spot anyone passing here. They didn't have that. Entire Virtus, I mean half of the Virtus team, literally went like this, unspotted, caught him off the guard. We knew on previous format, 742, if you lose a tier 1 as a spotter, you can lose a match. They lost a tier 6 here, a mobile tank that's supposed to give info of Himmelsdorf to his team, where is the enemy. You cannot allow that. They were forced to pull back after that. They lost entire map. That's why this 50 was here, because they were scared to lose control of this cap, because Virtus had their light tank and they could start capping. So they locked that guy and then they did everything else. They just outplayed them, and all started by that mistake.
Well, that's a pretty big mistake, as you said. What about in the 4th map? How did that go?
4th map was pretty interesting. GGWP decided to play different to surprise Virtus. So they sent tanks here, making sure that nothing will pass on this green side. They positioned really well, and they sent people here to surprise them. When they start any attacks from the top, they will position their guys here and shoot. That was their plan, and that was okay. What went wrong? Ron got spotted again. They got outplayed, pincered, and that's it.
Oh dear. Well, that was a much more simpler map, but that's what we thought of the battles. What are you guys currently thinking at home?
Well, the vote just closed as usual. We always close the voting throughout the first map. Well, as soon as the first map ends. And it ended with 80% in Virtus.Pro's favor. But people at home are slightly missing Virtus.Pro spirits. It seems like, I don't know, we saw different Virtus.Pro often enough, and it seems like that they're playing half-hearted.
Yeah, I think that there's any way we can disagree with that. The online performance is certainly different to the offline. Right, the battle seems to be ready, so already move on to the next one, which is Prokhorovka. So we're going to be seeing who defending on Prokhorovka?
The Prokhorovka, the defender is Virtus.Pro.
Virtus.Pro defending first again. So, all the ready, over to Lauren and Oliver to cast it for you.
Thank you, guys, once again for the fantastic breakdown of what's going on these maps and how they're kind of playing out. And it's nice to hear, once again, the kind of classic tactics being brought in, some being misplayed, as we said about Still Mojo mentioning, the cross just not being watched in certain positions. And when you fall back to these tactics, you've got to be able to remember how to play them. These guys used to be brilliant at it. Now, maybe lacking a little. However, overall, it's still a big scoreline sitting there with Virtus.Pro. Coming into the next map now, Prokhorovka. How GGWL played really rebound into this one? Because it's going to be surely a struggle for them mentally to go, okay, we're going to have to go all the way through this map on arguably a harder side on occasion. How would they do that now?
I think GGWL did a better job than Virtus.Pro did when they played Prokhorovka last time. Of course, Virtus.Pro played Kazna Crew, got trounced 4-0 on Prokhorovka. GGWL played against School Bus, and it was a little bit closer. They actually picked up around there. So I think GGWL has been a little bit stronger. Obviously, Virtus.Pro is trying to get some pride back on this map, but they can get themselves back into this game. Depends what the kind of tactics you want to see. If you hark your minds back, GGWL plays a little bit more tactical, whilst Virtus.Pro was definitely more all-in.
Well, GGWP doing something a little unique here. I love this sort of firing squad almost barreling down from the south. And why are they going for this? What does this really achieve for them?
Well, Kazna Crew did this, and it actually beat Virtus.Pro just on the other side. But they had Hyber and a T-32. Instead, Phoenix and Ron are playing the T-37 and the T-54. But as long as Virtus.Pro don't peek too much and GGWP don't make the shells, it should just be about okay, and that's the big problem for GGWP. If they shoot, they can get spotted very easily. Virtus.Pro still has Kuzop in E1, who could possibly go down, and GGWP knows that. That's why they're pushing forwards.
GGWP trying to punish any sort of weakness they see, but the crossfire is pretty sublime coming out. Already Cruz finding one. Look at Mary, look at FC Dynamo. The crossfire is on point. Vorsic takes down Mary, and FC Dynamo is left reeling. such low amounts of HP, but Breakneck a little low himself goes in for the kill. Gets punished by Ron, almost a sacrifice to turn the turret and leaving 3 alive for GG well played. Phoenix is down to nothing. Griffin and International yet to really even break into the fight here.
Yeah, bad stuff from International especially. He's still got 1.2 Ks down south providing cover in that 2-5-1. Griffin kind of left all alone, trying to do some lone wolf work against Bishop, but Kreitz gets the better of him, leaving International alone down south.
Left ablaze there as International receives another shell. And he is the last man standing against Nero on the entirety of Virtus.Pro, who are certainly on path to pick up that 3rd place once they get to match point, which would be this round coming up here, getting themselves onto 4. Which would be perfect for them. However, International trying to take his time, maybe allowing GGWP to talk through the issues, to try and discuss them further. But right now, it's all in the hands of Virtus.Pro pretty much here.
Yeah, it's game over. There's no way GGWP can come into this game. International will fall any second now. Kusok does dispatch of him quite nicely, giving Virtus.Pro their 3rd win in a row now, and the entire scoreline is 4-1. They need one more round to take 3rd place.
Thing is, imagine Virtus.Pro got all of this out of the way on the first day almost. They had that warm-up game. I think they have struggled in. They built. Because I feel by this game they're starting to look a little bit more like the Virtus.Pro, but this is 2 maps in to their 2nd game. Now obviously they wouldn't have that opportunity even if they won their first almost. This is something different for them, but I feel that they are a team that need that little bit of time to get into this. They're a talented bunch, don't get me wrong. We have seen that from every event, there's no doubting it, but I think they might start needing a little bit more of a play here. And would you say by now they're on the form that we're used to seeing them at, or is it still a little bit of a shade lighter?
Yeah, you can see the clear difference between the way they played at Prokhorov against Kazner and the way they played it just then against GG well played. They had Kusok and Kreitz just in those M41s in just a lot better position. They could just shoot straight along against GG well played. They got very quick spots onto where they were. They had great information, and GG well played just had no answer. If they shot, they would be spotted, they'd be taken down. They tried to push along because they had no other option. They could push along and hope that they can find the M41s quick enough, or they could rotate around. It was game over as soon as GG well played went left. When they played against Kazna crew, Kazna could push all the way along. They found Kreitz, and then they found Just Cause. Yeah. It was a completely different situation. But I don't know, like Virtus.Pro, you have won 2 seasons of the WGLU. They won season 2 against Evil Panda Squad, and they won season 3 against School Bus. You would have thought after 5 seasons they would have learned their lesson and just thought, let's just get 3rd place in the online stage so we can have that warm up and just see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
Just see what happens. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. At least they've tried it, because it's 3 seasons now they haven't managed to secure themselves that top spot.
Let's be honest, first day, you can also drop into lowers. That's the thing. You can afford a loss to then work your way through the lowers, if required. However, here, it's you get 1 loss on the 2nd day and you drop straight into 3rd place. There is no real coming back from it. That's the thing here. When you're playing with the big boys, you get punished like them as well. That's the bigger thing. And Virtus.Pro, they certainly could define those results. You'd think, well, why would any team lose games on purpose? No, you don't lose them on purpose. You play as best as you can, but they're a team that can define these outcomes, and maybe they can work on things. They can try out more tactics, because they are very clinical online. They'll play things out to an absolute T. If maybe they're a bit more creative, a little bit, more along those lines, they could utilize it more, their time a little better, because they are a world-class team. But I think they need to look internally, see their strengths and weaknesses maybe a little more, and try and bring it to the forefront, because I think the team we're about to watch in this round is pretty much solid enough to secure this win here and get that 3rd place.
I hate to use this phrase in any kind of context with any of these top teams, is the bigger you are, the harder you fall. And
I think
that's
you're right.
Virtus.Pro in a nutshell. 2nd place team, 3rd place team. This will be their worst result in the WGL since season 1. And obviously they're looking towards the grand finals. They are a team that can bounce back, for sure.
Yes.
But it's been season 4 and Rumble in the West for them to bounce back. And I think they need to make some big changes when they do head to Warsaw for those world finals. They have got the points for it after 3rd, 4th, and also 2nd at season 4. So I'll be joining School Bus there, of course. But last match, obviously Virtus.Pro has a second chance of defending. Kreitz looks pretty chilled on your screens there. I think they have a good chance of taking this one home.
Yeah, I think they found that kind of comfort here. I think they're in the right zone mentally. I think they're in the right place now as a play style. They're starting to find that comfort streak. So I think we'll be seeing Virtus.Pro's strengths now being shown in this final round, or at least I hope. I may be completely wrong, and GGWP will do a comeback just to make me sound absolutely idiotic. You never know. However, it is time to get into the game. We are seeing the kind of two schools of thought here. We're seeing a very evil Panda squad lineup almost, if you want to call it that in a way, and a more classic one. Virtus.Pro on the defense, GGWP on the attack. What do we make of a defending side picking arguably a lighter HP pool of tanks here?
I'm just really interested that Virtus.Pro and GGWP don't like the 251s, and I guess that's what they trained against each other, because they could see the other team likes those 251s and not the T54 lightweight. So it works well against each other, but just not against that Russian tier 8 light tank. Virtus.Pro has a lot of them, well, so does GGWP, considering it's not really that popular these days. 3, of course, picked up. Meritorious playing that IS-3 alongside Montiablo. They tried this exact same lineup against School Bus, where they managed to lose. But they did win one round with those double IS-3s, thanks to some good pushing, and you can see Virtus.Pro watched that match and studied it, because they've put a lot of tanks in the middle to try and stop those IS-3s from getting into that cap.
It makes sense, and it's seeming to work out so far, so being smart about it. But Virtus.Pro are down. They have received a little bit of damage. Their position is given away, but look at the burst potential. Griffin down a lot already. 708 HP dealt away from him. And that's the thing. Virtus.Pro do have a lot of firepower, and these guys are very talented. The focus fire is second to none on occasion. We'll see if that comes into effect here. The IS-3 slowly edging towards their final position, if they can make it there.
Finally, Montiablo and Meritorious do get there. And this is where they come into the game, and where GGWP wins and loses this third place decider match on how well these two players you see on the screens now perform. But you can see straight away the M41 from behind and the 251 from the front is caught Meritorious in an extremely awkward position. He's on reload. He's also, his Amarak's gone down, and he's used his repair kit as well. So he's just got to play carefully, and he's just got to hit those shells, and GGWP need to make a concise move, otherwise this is game over.
And it looks, even though the HP is actually in favor of GGWP, it looks like they're not leading the pace. They're not making the moves. There is no Pika's advantage for them. They're not quite doing that, which is strange, but finally we do see them starting to maybe warm into this one. Kusok takes a bit of damage. Karitz does commit over, and actually he could be in trouble here, but he does get support. Kusok takes down International, freeing up Karitz to maybe spot out a couple more. Mary takes a lot in the middle as well, and this could be going either way here.
I don't know. I think this is going very well for Virtus.Pro. They've got the initial advantage of taking down International in that tier 8. FC Dynamo will, of course, exchange back. But it's not such a big deal, because they have had to commit that 251 up north. Ron and Phoenix are going to join him.
Here we go. Kusok's in trouble. He goes down. Phoenix gets it, and GGWP clinging on to this one. But Montiablo, very low, as is Mary. These players are down pretty low, even though they do have numbers.
I think Virtus.Pro need to take advantage of the fact that all those tanks from GGWP went up north and just push in the middle, and Bishop is doing just that.
I think they almost heard you there. They're going to be going for this one, going to commit to it. Bishop gets it. That's the confidence I wanted to see, the execution that they're good at. But Just Cause takes a lot for this. Phoenix looks to punish, but Ron takes the brunt of it. Down 509 HP already. Phoenix straight over, committing in towards this one. And he does have some form of backup, but it's a brave move. And so far, it's not paid off for him. He's down to 11 HP, goes down eventually to Bishop. And now just 2 stand for GGWP. Virtus.Pro on the precipice of going through into third place is now just FC Dynamo in live in this 1v3. I think it's a little too far.
We've seen FC Dynamo doing incredible things in the online phase. For instance, managing getting that draw and soloing 2 or 3 tanks against, I believe that was Penta. So he might be able to just do this. He's done a good work so far.
He's done good damage.
1,759 penetrating shells, but he's still got Bishop, Povel, and Breakneck, who, to be honest, are doing a very bad job of taking him out to deal with.
FC Dynamo, as you said, I forget he's the man who caused a draw in a system that can't have draws. The impossible can happen. 2k damage already. Just missing these shells now. 444 HP for Povel, 320 for Breakneck, and 439 for Bishop. Povel starts to split. And put it this way though, GGWP, aka FC Dynamo now, he is on attack, so the time limit's certainly against him, and Povel's going to be gaining that higher ground, and it looks like Virtus.Pro are playing the safety game.
For sure, there's no reason why they should actually go in against FC Dynamo. Breakneck and Bishop will be defending that northern cap, getting as far away as possible. Povel on the hill just to cover the cross. FC Dino immediately gets spotted, but does a clever thing and heads back over that railroad, which has been flattened a lot these days. So it's not quite as good in terms of cover as it was in 9.5, but still, Virtus.Pro, they're keeping 2 tanks together, of course, one off on a limb, so that one on the limb can rotate once it gets spotted. So they're doing it cleverly, they're doing it smart, and FC Dynamo will have to make that decision just to go in and just to try his luck.
Let's see how this goes. FC Dynamo, if he saves his team here, it would be insane. While he's taking a gamble, is towards the 2 players. And then there will be one in the back, which can still land shots. So that could be the problem here. But FC Dynamo is going to head forward. 2k damage done now. Can he continue? No, 2 shells back to back. Gets tracked. He's going to be kind of beaten black and blue as Virtus.Pro. No, they are so close. And Breakneck takes them through. Gets them third. Virtus.Pro finally step up to the plate.
In some fashion as well. Good round for them. They won 4 in a row to take 3rd place. And the final score for Virtus.Pro will be 5-2 after some extraordinary rounds on Himmelsdorf. And I think Virtus.Pro showed us what kind of team they are capable of being. And they did, to be fair to them, win against the team that they clearly trained against.
Yeah, they showed that their preparation for GGWP played was brilliant. It was smart, it was focused. And even though the tactics were so similar on occasion, you could see that Virtus.Pro's talent, even as players, as individuals, as a collective on occasion, was just that little bit stronger. I recalled Himmelsdorf more than maybe Prokhorovka in the kind of symmetry between the tactics that they utilized and how one team was obviously drastically ahead of the other. So always quite interesting to watch that.
Very interesting to watch. I mean, there's very slow games all round. On Himmelsdorf, slow. Prokhorovka was pretty slow. But Virtus.Pro were just more clever. And GGWP played look a little bit defeated at the end of that round. But GGWP play take 4th for the 2nd time if you count their wins with Dinova. Virtus.Pro take their lowest ever placing at a WGL. They've only really managed 2nd before. So I don't think they're going to be too happy with that one. But they did okay, and at least they're going to the finals.
Exactly that. There's more on the line there for Virtus.Pro. It's not just here. It does lead on to a lot of other things down the line. So here's hoping they can make those issues maybe, so let's say, a little bit less great down the line. You know what I mean? There's a couple of tweaking problems, but the Virtus.Pro we witnessed just now was a clinical, clean team that can pick up victories against any opponent. And, well, it was GGWP played in that one to claim 3rd. So, guys, let's head to the stage with Mitch.
Thank you, guys. Some fantastic matches there. And, of course, congratulations to Virtus.Pro for claiming 3rd place in what I have to say was an impressive display of tactical ability, especially getting 2 attacking rounds on Himmelsdorf. It's essentially unheard of, especially as the casters put it. I'm sure the analysts have something to say about that as well. But tell me about that. Those 2 attacking round victories that you got on Himmelsdorf, did you go for, like, essentially the same strat? Or were they 2 very different approaches?
Of course, they are very different approaches because we try to understand where our enemies are.
Sure. Now, tell me also, you guys, especially on Prokhorovka, we've often talked about how it can be a dice roll map and, you know, it can be tricky to gain an advantage without putting your tanks in danger. You guys like to use a Sparpanzer, RU-251 on that map quite a lot, even though it's sort of been said that they kind of lose in the one-on-one to the Russian light tank, the lightweight. Yeah. So can you explain to me sort of why you guys prefer to go with those ones, especially on that map?
We like to play aggressive, as you know already, and these tanks, light tanks, like German tanks, they have more DPM, so we try to use it and to kill fast enemy tanks.
Now tell me, what's next for you guys? Obviously, some big things around the corner, I'm sure. A lot to take away from this weekend. Where do you guys go from here?
Well, we'll train hard for future grand finals, and we'll try to not to lose.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to have you on stage and playing for us as always. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause as well for Virtus.Pro, 3rd place. Well. Some really good stuff in that game, actually. And I'm sure our experts have plenty to say. So let's hear their opinion on that match.
Well, I actually did prefer the Himmelsdorf battles. As I said, I've always wanted to see that Himmelsdorf attack for Virtus.Pro. I always felt like, as said at the grand finals, that they just were waiting too long, and they fixed all those problems. And I think now that's one of their strongest things, attacking on Himmelsdorf. But we've already talked about that, so let's talk about the next map. So, guys, take us through Prokhorovka.
Well, the first Prokhorovka round was pretty simple because GGWP tried the same tactic as Kazna Crew, put bait in the front. Virtus.Pro didn't take it this time, and after that they switched to the one line and tried to push from there. The problem was that Coris was in the E1 bush that many people use with light tanks in public games even, and he saw them miles away. And after that it was just a Turkish shoot. Virtus.Pro came to the top and just shot them down straight from the first line when they tried to push. Game over.
I would say Virtus didn't even bother to change tactics, and GGWP still fell for it.
So first two battles, both battles are the same, basically.
The first battle was. The second has differences in reactions, mainly by Virtus.Pro, who did an immediate flank. Once they knew their heavy RS3s, once they located a side area, and they didn't want to enter village and start some sniping brawl there. They just flanked from the south, starting doing back shots, side shots. GGWP started turning forward, back.
Yeah,
it was just messy.
Yeah, and well, School Bus played against that same tactic. School Bus didn't intercept those IS-3s when they tried to position themselves in the middle. Virtus.Pro did. They didn't never let the IS-3s take their positions in the middle and just hold them down in the low ground. And well, if you're low ground with IS-3, you can't really use your alpha damage.
So you would say that Virtus.Pro actually did a better job than School Bus in that regard?
Yeah, in that round, for sure. They did the flanking and they did the right play in the middle to take those back shots and flanking shots to those IS-3s.
So we did see a glimmer of what we could have seen from Virtus.Pro if they had got to the finals against School Bus.
Yeah.
I would say they did the best because, again, both teams had a lot of rules. And again, Virtus just won because they positioned better. Ru, when shooting IS-3, is a very weak tank because he shoots heat shells. They bounce off tracks all the time. So they used just positioning smarter and they won.
Well, that's the end of that story. We now know the exact final positions for both Virtus.Pro and GGWP, but that's what we thought of it. You guys might have thought a bit differently. Mally, what's going on in the world?
Well, as you guys said, people were happy to see a glimpse of Virtus.Pro showing up on the map, and well, what we could have seen in the grand final. I'm doing just the same. I'm sorry. In the finals, we're not at grand finals yet. They're end of April in Warsaw.
Right.
We're in Sofia, Bulgaria right now. So it's the Season 5 finals. And the third and fourth place is set, as you witnessed if you just tuned in. You get all information on our Twitter account with an exact live update about the match. And of course, by watching back the VODs, which will be provided to you after the finals. The contests are still running and people are still submitting stuff, and it's amazing to see what kind of submissions are actually reaching our comment section. And we can actually quickly jump to some of the submissions. Luke is already peeking over on my screen, and this is actually from here, from on-site in the venue. I don't know, buddy, are you still around? Doesn't seem so. He has left us. Maybe he'll come back for his mother is looking for him. I hear the producer saying, I'm just kidding. Thank you very much for your submission. Even people here on site can take part in this competition, of course. Just quickly grab your mobile phone and snap a picture of how you enjoy our finals on site or even at home or in the car, as this guy. I really appreciate your dedication to Wall of Tanks and our season, but you should really, looking on the street at, I don't know, is it 110 kilometers? Yes, it is.
I really hope this was staged.
I think pretty much no. Yeah. Thank you very much for your dedication. And someone is enjoying the finals with this guinea pig.
I'm glad we appeal to all races and species. Wide audience there.
And another one from on-site. Thank you very much for this contribution as well. And this is actually pretty lovely.
Kazna.
Yeah, daddy with his little girl sitting and watching some tanks and drawing cheerfuls for the teams.
I think we should have a shout out to all the children out there watching. Anyone who's under the age of 15 and very young, getting into tanks early. I like it. Nice and
Absolutely,
interested.
looking for the amateur scene, right?
That's it. You got to start
That's
early.
how you raise the professionals.
Absolutely.
And this could be pretty much my desk, but it isn't because I'm here. And yeah, some nail polish.
Is that what your desk look like at home?
Maybe.
You're a very tidy person, I see.
No. Yes, of course I am. I'm like the most tidy person ever. You should see my hotel room.
Oh my.
No. And another one, cuddling with his pet in front of the computer. People really, a big thank you to all those contributions. We have a lot of videos also sent in, but we sadly can't show them because without sound, it doesn't make fun to watch them. So you should go and watch them yourselves. Head over to facebook.com/WGLEU. The posting is pinned on the very top of our timeline, so you won't miss it if you head over to that Facebook page. And then just roam around in the comment section. You see a lot of fun contribution. And if you feel so, we'd appreciate if you take part in the contest as well. I mean, there's Type 59 up for grabs and 3 M4 Sherman Fury version. And 50 bonus codes, which will be given away amongst all participants randomly. So there is always a chance to win. And another chance of winning is, of course, our other Type 59 challenge. Because, as said, we talked to some people and they agreed of unlocking another Type 59 if we reach the 15K viewers on our stream. So tell your friends, share the announcement, and by sharing, you get a chance of winning the Type 59 if we manage to unlock it. So people, now it's your time to shine before we're heading into the overall finals. I see the teams are getting ready, so this will take a little time. And there's enough time to, prepare some food, get some snacks, get some drinks, and just, cuddle up in front of your computer, maybe with your pets, with your kids, with some nail polish, as we saw.
Everything.
And if you're in the car, please don't watch this.
Pull over.
Drive home safely or stop at the, how is it called, sideline?
Yeah, the side of the road or something.
Something.
A gas station, anything.
Please look on the road. while
We
driving.
appreciate the dedication.
Absolutely.
But
we
be safe.
love you all. Exactly. But we want you to tune again, again and again. So
and
that's
that
like
might not
forward
happen
thinking.
if you do that. All right, so the next game is coming up very soon. It's the game you are waiting for. We have School Bus, the reigning champions, versus the Kazna crew. I think they are one of the favorites because they're basically the underdogs, and I cannot wait to see it. So don't go anywhere. Very shortly we'll be back. Kazna crew versus School Bus.